Why are you such a pedophile?
How?
Because you are.
In what way?
That's just it.
In what way?
In the way that you are.
I would like for you to prove it.
I would like for you to disprove it.
I've never and am not attracted to children.
Yeah, but you've watched anime before.
Yeah, and I usually talk against when anime is creepy about that shit.
Yeah, but then that's like you hiding it. That's like the way you keep it deep down inside yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like the Republican guy who hates gays, except it's for wanting to fuck children.
But usually a Republican guy who hates gays also wants to fuck children.
Yeah, but he wants to fuck boys.
And little children.
Little boys.
It depends. Matt Gaetz sex trafficked a 17-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. Girl.
Technically, if you sex trafficked her for a long, it's not pedophilia anymore.
So, do you have a point, Ian?
No.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome to Medial Podcast. This is a weekly podcast in which myself and Ian talk about entertainment and news and all sorts of fun shit that we talk about, mostly video games. We got a pretty big news week for a lot of things worth talking about. So let's fucking get right into her. So first up, this week we had Pokemon Gen 9's announcement.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's been such a long week.
It's been a fucking week, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there was other news in that, like my boy Duraladan coming to Pokemon Unite, but you didn't care much about that.
Who?
It's the fucking...
What's Duraladan and also what's Pokemon Unite?
Do you know actually... Are you joking?
Is Pokemon Unite the League of
Pokemon
Legends?
Unite's the MOBA.
Okay, so Pokemon Unite's the League of Legends. I don't know what Duraludon is because I'm not a loser.
Duraludon was a Gen 8 dragon type, but when you put it in its Dynamax form, it looks like a skyscraper with windows and everything.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just stupid.
Okay, but yeah, Pokemon Gen 9. It's going to be called, what, Scarlet and Violet?
Yeah, it's going to be taking place in a fictional world, obviously, but it's supposed to resemble Spain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Baby.
Because, they haven't done Spain yet.
Spain's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to look nice. I think the characters look really, like the outfits look really bland. It's very gender dimorphic shit, but I think that's because they're going, like, really into the customization of the game, the characters this time. Mm-hmm. Like, hopefully even more so than they have in the previous games. Like, I can maybe go a bit more in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of look plain, and it kind of looks like they dropped a bit of the art style. I'm not going to talk about the graphics because they did the same thing with Sword and Shield, where they showed the game. The first time they showed the game, it looked bad.
Yeah.
It didn't look great when it came out, but it looked more polished.
Yeah.
Where, like, the environments of this one look like shit.
Reverse Watch Dogs.
Yeah. Nintendo has a reverse Watch Dogs every time. The thing is the one thing that worries me is that when this game actually comes out, if it doesn't look better than Legends Arceus, I'm just going to be kind of upset.
Yeah. Apparently this is going to be more open and shit, but it's wild that, like, what it's going to be is within 1 year we managed to get 3 new Pokemon games.
What other Pokemon game came out this year?
So,
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl.
Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, and Scarlet and Violet. It's all going to be roughly a year.
Yeah, because Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out in...
like October.
November.
November, so even more recent, right?
Yeah, and then Legends Arceus came out at the end of January.
Yep.
It's just... I think it's going to be a big step back from Legends Arceus.
Well, I think it might be some steps in some directions and other steps in other directions is what's more likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if you compare it to something like Sword and Shield, I'm sure it's going to look like a massive step ahead, right?
Those fucking... Have you seen, like, any of the memes with, like, the starters and stuff?
They're pretty cute.
They are. Everyone is hoping that the fucking Sprigatto...
The cat?
The grass cat. Someone made a meme where they put tape on his front paws and it's like, those stay down on the ground.
Somebody said, yeah, if you walk on 2 legs, you gotta be careful.
Well, it's not even for the furry stuff. It's just like those designs are starting to feel like so bland now. Like in Gen 6 is kind of when it really started.
Yeah.
Of like here's here's Froakie, and it's like he turns into Greninja, and I'm like, okay, it's a man. Here's Chespin, and he turns into a man. And here's the fox one that I can't remember the name of right now. Fennekin. It turns into a hot woman. And then the next generation after that, it's like, which one was it? Gen 7?
I don't know.
That was the Alola ones, which all turned into
big guys, didn't they?
They turned into just humans with fur. They turned into fucking furries.
Yeah. These new ones are
then
really
Gen 8 was even harder.
I really like these starters. This is a good trio of starters.
Yeah.
I gotta say, because like, I like the alligator one. He's cutie.
There is a weird one with him because all the fire starters so far have been based off of the Chinese zodiac.
Yeah, and he's not because he's an alligator.
He's not. The people are theorizing that he might get the Seviper treatment, which is in Gen 5. There was this Pokemon named Snivy.
Yeah,
and it was like a little like I don't know, some sort of lizard, and it was. But then as it evolved, it lost its limbs and became like a snake.
Oh.
So if Fuecoco loses his limbs, he's the snake part of the Chinese zodiac still. I hope Sprigatto, it just kind of like turns into a lion or something.
Yeah.
Keep its paws all down. I think the bird, there's two things I want for the bird. One, either the first water fighting type in the game, so I can name it Josuke. Because look at that little fucking pompadour he has. Two, it's Spain.
Yep.
He could turn into, he could become like a water steel type and look like Three Musketeers. Or Don Quixote.
Don Quixote, yeah.
Yeah. So, because I made a shitty meme and sent it to Anthony where all I did was put Quaxley's head on Don Quixote Doflamingo from One Piece and sent it to him and said Don Quaxote. Don Quaxote or whatever.
Nice.
Because I was watching...
I saw a bunch of fan art of that duck as Subaru from HoloLive.
Yeah.
Which is cute.
Yeah, Shuba.
Shuba.
Yeah, they're just like... I think there's some hope that like... The starters are really what shows off hope for a generation. It's like, oh, look, these can be all really cool. Same with fucking Gen... Like the previous Sword and Shield one.
Yeah.
When those starters were revealed, I was like, they all look so cute. And then they all just turned into people.
I don't remember any of those starters. Wait, was the owl one of those?
No, that was Gen 7.
Okay.
That was Rowlet.
Rowlet cute.
Yeah. Rowlet also... Oh, okay. Rowlet had the seal dog that literally just looked like a blue seal. And then what was the fire one? Oh, Litten. The cat. The thing that Incineroar evolves from.
Incineroar's cool.
Incineroar is cool. I think it was funny that they made him look like he was gonna be a water fighting, a fire fighting type again, and people was like, "Oh, you fucker, a wrestler!" And then he was dark type because he was the heal Pokemon.
That's great.
Which is why he in Smash Bros he taunts after every single move he hits.
Incineroar, great.
Yeah,
one of my favorite recent Pokemon.
He wasn't my favorite starter of that generation. I really do like Water Dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of the starter, who cares? I'm just saying specifically...
Incineroar. Yeah.
If a Pokemon becomes in a Smash Bros. Character, usually, like, I think they tend to be ones with more personality and or are more interesting.
Yeah. And there's a really good bit with Incineroar in the Pokemon anime where the professor of that generation, the hot fucking like Hawaiian dude or Alolan dude, whatever, is like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like he puts on a mask and people don't know who he is. The only person who knows who he is his wife.
Nice.
Who's like just a hot babe, and he wrestles side by side with an Incineroar
as a tag team. That's sick. Love that. But yeah, Incineroar I think is a good addition.
Yeah.
I never really cared for Greninja or Lucario.
Oh yeah, and you mean another Smash? Yeah, Lucario was just like a Pokemon they really wanted to push, and people do like Lucario.
They really pushed Lucario for SummerSlam. That's for sure.
Yeah, but then like because they also gave him like it was like as soon as Gen 4 came out, they're like, here's a movie where Lucario talks. Like Lucario has the power to speak human language because even though he's like a fighting steel type, they're like very intelligent. And then here's Greninja.
You know who's
Just
cool?
a frog.
Deoxys.
Yeah, sure.
He's like a fucking DNA guy.
Yeah, he's also from outer space. He's an alien.
Yeah. He's an alien like fungus or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
I think
cool.
a parasite.
He's the Thing.
He is the Thing because he changes forms. Oh yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Do a fucking horror movie set in a Pokemon universe. Be sick.
Yeah, except it would be Ditto.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I'd still be into it. That's what I always want is like do X thing in Y universe.
Do
like,
adult things and children things because we grew up with them.
No, fuck that. But I don't know. I do
not
horror,
sex stuff, but
like do horror in any genre just because I think that's fun. Like a fucking horror movie in the MCU would be cool. Apparently they're gonna do a Man-Thing thing special that's scary, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Do scary shit. Do weird shit. Fucking take chances.
Yeah.
Do
things that are a little disturbing to look at. That isn't just, oh, your favorite Avengers are all dead.
Your favorite Avenger is gay.
Have you gone on Tumblr recently?
No, I have not in a year.
There's a brand new fucking meme on Tumblr right now.
Yeah.
And it's the homophobic slug from Rise of Skywalker.
There's a homophobic slug.
So in Rise of Skywalker, it has Star Wars' first gay on-screen kiss, whatever.
Yeah.
There's like two women who make out after they defeat the...
Yeah, in the background of that one shot, yeah.
Yeah, but then a slug like walks in front of them, and it's just like, he's in the frame for longer than the lesbians were. And then some people were making jokes I literally woke up, I saw them like started yesterday, and then I wake up today and it was just my entire dashboard was just filled of like homophobic slug watching cam or whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was just some nonsense like that.
Love it.
Yeah, but Pokemon Gen 9, let's see.
Yeah, probably be good. I don't know. It's a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
They're never bad. They're just not always good. So, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax was announced that they're going to add rollback in a post-launch patch, which is great news. That's pretty dope. Here's and then another interesting thing, real quick. Crunchyroll and Funimation are fusing into just Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll by the end of the month is going to have all fucking Funimation's content.
And Funimation's going to have all of...
No, the Funimation's dying.
So, okay. Funimation was owned by Sony.
And now Crunchyroll
is owned by Sony. So they are dissolving Funimation into Crunchyroll?
As a streaming service.
Okay.
Not the company itself.
Okay, that's what makes it worse. So Funimation is going to stick to doing their dubs. And they're only going to do dubs.
Yep.
But Crunchyroll is going to be the pure
official releases
platform.
And like Blu-rays and shit.
That is
Funimation
amazing because Funimation shows are impossible to watch.
Yeah.
It has the worst app. Even on
the app sucks, which sucks because there's like lots of great stuff. Funimation does pretty good dubs overall. There's some shit ones, but there's some really great ones.
Yeah.
Like I think My Hero Academia, a show I don't really watch anymore, has a really good dub.
One Piece is a really good dub as well.
Yeah, right? So, you know.
All of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super is like, yes, it exists on Crunchyroll, but
it's a lot better subbed.
What?
Or it's a lot better dubbed, rather.
Yes.
Although I think they should just let the Dragon Ball franchise, like, not die, but just, like, rest. Like,
I think, God, I'm going to go see Superheroes just so I want to see the train wreck, but God, it's going to suck.
Well, I was thinking about, like, a later piece of news that I have here, but I was thinking about, like, you know, we've never stopped getting new Dragon Ball content, right? Be it Super or the video games or whatever the fuck it is.
There was, yeah, you're right that we've never gone more than like 2 years without some sort of Dragon Ball game coming out
or movie or some shit.
Yeah, well,
TV show.
I would say mostly games kept it alive because for the TV show stopped in the 90s.
Well, Right, but then
GT also stops in the 90s.
You know what? You're right.
It's just games kept it alive. I think the last movie, the first Battle of the Gods was like their first movie in like almost 20 years. Because I think the last one was Fusion Reborn. Well, there might be a GT movie that I don't know about. But like it came out in like 1999 or something.
Well, but in between we got like Kai.
Yes, we got Kai in like the mid to late 2000s. Mm-hmm. So there was at least a 10-year gap where all we were getting was video games.
Right. So what I'm saying is we've never kind of stopped getting some form of Dragon Ball content.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, you know, the same isn't true about Fullmetal Alchemist, right? Like, Fullmetal Alchemist, they did the first show, they did a game and a movie.
2010, there hasn't been any new Fullmetal
Then they did Brotherhood.
Content.
There hasn't been a game.
When Brotherhood was the last thing.
It ended in 2010?
No, it ended in, like, around then, and then The Sacred Star of Milos, which was, like, the only original story movie they have. Well, that's, like, a standalone thing that you can watch it without, like... There's no spoilers for Brotherhood or original in it anywhere. It's got like a combination art style where like the coloring on Brotherhood is very very like bright, and the coloring on original is very muted. And they went with like this kind of an in between. Yeah,
but like so Fullmetal Alchemist, like, you know, there was a game or a couple games.
There was a live action adaptation in 2017.
You're right, but we don't keep getting like fucking bombarded with Fullmetal Alchemist content.
God, I wish.
That doesn't make it not popular. So I'm like, maybe Dragon Ball just needs to shut the fuck up. And like, just like Fullmetal Alchemist, like, it didn't make people stop liking Fullmetal Alchemist that there's no new content. Because what exists of Fullmetal Alchemist is good and can just exist without having to be followed up and fucking commercialized and
I think it's just how
and overdone.
Like Square Enix and Toei treat their like respective properties.
Yeah.
Well, or I guess Shonen Jump or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that it's the same reason why I think the One Piece anime should go on a break for like a full year.
Yeah.
Because it is ridiculous how close the anime and the manga are at all times, and that's why the anime is like a slog to watch. Mm-hmm. Like, honestly, the My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, all these modern shonen animes...
Going for seasonal style instead of the fucking non-stop style.
Yeah, so you can have, like, 5 chapters in one episode and not feel like a slog. It can look and be amazing. Jujutsu Kaisen is really hard to read right now.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm fine with it, but Chris has been complaining about it because it's, like, 10-part battles. It's like chapters of JoJo.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why, like, the one fucking fight in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime is, like, 20 chapters long in the manga.
Yeah, it sometimes fights can go on a little bit long, and especially if you are reading weekly chapters.
Which is why I had to drop JoJo Leon.
Yeah, it makes you want to fucking kill yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you're like, bro.
And because of the way that it comes out monthly now... Araki goes and like reestablishes powers a lot. He doesn't do it very quickly either. It does the whole classic JoJo thing where it's like they're in the middle of a fight and they just keep explaining how the other guy's power works. Yeah. Like they're just running down their thought process in their head the whole time, but it's a way of reminding the reader that this guy's power only works if the sun is exactly at a 45-degree angle from where they're standing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so I don't know, but like what I was getting at is One Piece won't take any time off because Toei has this belief that as soon as the anime stops, when it picks up again, no one will continue watching it. So that's why it just doesn't do that because it's too much of a money thing. So with them constantly licensing out like Dragon Ball Z stuff, is them saying if we don't put something out and keep this in the minds of our like consumers, people will forget what it is because they're treating us all like children, and they're treating children like how you shouldn't treat children.
True. I think most of Toei's shows do the forever piece, which sucks.
Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, One Piece.
Well, even I'm looking at their like currently airing shows according to Wikipedia. You've got One Piece, which obviously is One Piece 1999 to present, 1,012 episodes. Precure, 2004 to present, 873 episodes.
Precure at least is like they do new, like it's not the same characters the whole time.
Right. Apparently there's something called Butt Detective, 2018 to present, 39 episodes. So maybe that's seasonal.
Yeah, 39 doesn't sound like
Since
a lot.
2018,
Yeah.
Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
Oh god, that's still
2018
on?
to present, OVA 41 episodes.
Jesus. Okay, that must be
That's
seasonal.
also seasonal.
But that's still so much.
Yeah.
For 2018 to now,
Yeah.
I guess that's 4 years. It's like a season a year.
Yeah.
That's
how
how My
often
Hero
do
Academia-
episodes of this fucking show come out? Hold on. So I think they... Oh, no, okay. Because it's OVA, they actually just put episodes out legitimately randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there will sometimes be over a month in between. Thank you. Wild. Yeah, and that's just a promo for a fucking mobile game.
Yeah, a mobile like
A dog shit mobile
that's a
game.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse fucking anime almost.
Yeah.
There's like dumb made up characters that like Toriyama did like a vague design for, and he's like, here, just steal another character's backstory now.
Yeah, let me see. What else is currently going by them? Digimon Ghost game started October 3rd.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know what? The Digimon Adventure remake, that was seasonal,
Yeah.
right? April 5th to September 26th.
And they also had like Sailor Moon, which was
The newer Sailor Moon was also seasonal.
Yeah.
Or maybe no, I think maybe Digimon Adventure was not seasonal. The remake, never mind.
Like
67 episodes between April 5th and September 26th.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. Never mind. But it was good. So, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Digimon, I think, again, you gotta respect Digimon for being the one that manages to consistently put out higher quality content.
Wait, which one? Digimon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Digimon's
Like that-
also a lot more complicated. Like, it's actually a JRPG, or Pokemon is baby's first turn-based game.
Yeah, well, Digimon isn't a video game series. It was Tamagotchis, so, like, some of their games aren't JRPG. All the Digimon... What is it? Digimon story games are JRPGs, but the Digimon world games are, like, kind of Pokemon-y, but they're weird. They're weird and cool and interesting. And then Digimon... Survive is the tactical RPG one, which looks pretty good, but has been delayed quite a bit.
Yeah, well...
And I think they're going to do a new Digimon story, which would be cool, because Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory are fucking good. They're good games. They are Persona 4 likes.
yeah.
They're like, hey, Persona 4 sold really well on the Vita. Let's make this Vita game. And then it has been ported to a lot of things, including the Switch. By the way, you can run... Somebody fucking wrote a code that lets you not emulate, natively run Vita games on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Because apparently their codes can be manipulated because they're similar enough. So, you know. If you have a jailbroken Switch, which I do not recommend to jailbreak your Nintendo Switch, I think that's probably not great. But if you do have one, you know, maybe get that thing and play Vita games.
Yeah.
Make your friends jealous. Play Uncharted Golden Abyss. Play the Uncharted
Piss.
Play the Uncharted card game, which sucks ass. What else? What would be good? Freedom Wars, Persona 4 Golden. I think they'll eventually put Persona 4 Golden on the Switch.
Maybe.
That Steam version that came out the other year.
Yeah, I just think... I think it's that Nintendo doesn't care enough to port their games onto the Switch. I mean, doesn't care enough to be like, oh yeah, we'll go reach out and try and get.
Well,
Persona
Nintendo
games.
pays Atlas to put games on the Switch sometimes.
Yeah, I just think that maybe Persona is like something where they just don't think it's a right fit.
Maybe.
Maybe they don't like themes in the Persona games, so that there'd be
But
too much censorship.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is on that fucking system.
Yeah, but
which is way more thematically upsetting than the Persona series, especially 4.
yeah, but is it humans that are being upsetting, or is it the demons?
Both. In both.
I don't know.
Also, fucking Galguns on Switch.
Yeah, but that's just assaulting women. But it's presented from an aspect of it not being bad, where there's assaulting women in Persona 5, and it's expressly telling you, hey, this is bad
to do sexual harassment.
Yeah, it's different because
so Nintendo won't let you put a game that says it's bad to sexually harass women on the Switch.
That's what I'm saying. Or Nintendo is fine with sexually harassing women when you are harassing women your own age, but they are not fine with it when it's a man sexually harassing teenagers.
Anyway, the Marvel Netflix shows are going to be on Disney Plus now. They're not on Netflix anymore. They're on Disney Plus. Isn't that interesting?
No, not interesting.
Didn't think that would happen. We also got
maybe it means we're gonna get all the fucking characters back finally.
That'd be cool.
I think it would depend on where they like if they just placed it on the app and didn't say anything. Mm-hmm. They placed it and they like when you go look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe part of it, wherever
it's not in there.
It's not,
or
in there.
Or it's with the X-Men shit where it's like not canon.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna maintain the canon. I think it's easy. It fits.
Did we talk about when the Doctor Strange trailer was news?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that Patrick Stewart's in that trailer?
Yeah.
I completely forgot that we did.
Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are going to get PS5 and Xbox Series X upgrades for free for existing owners. And then the PC versions will get an update with these new features later down the line.
Not Village?
Village has a PS5 version.
No, it doesn't? I didn't know.
It came out after the PS5.
I didn't know.
What do you mean?
Just didn't know.
You forgot.
I didn't know.
You
How would I know? Just because it came out doesn't mean I remember it.
Okay, buddy.
Which means I didn't know.
Next up, I thought we'd have a fun little discussion because they finally released official Japanese sale numbers of all Xbox consoles.
Yeah, and they're very low.
Yeah, they're really low. So me and Ian sometimes talk about how relevant Xbox is in Japan because we like to point it out when we talk about like, or when we talk about like PC ports of Japanese
when we talk about
games.
Fucking Microsoft having exclusive rights to fucking Sega's like shit now.
Yeah, like. So the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 are the most successful Xbox consoles in Japan, with the original Xbox selling 472,000 units and the 360 selling over 1.6 million units, right? The Xbox One sold 114,000 units in its lifetime, which is already being outsold by the Series X and Series S, having sold a combined 142,000 units lifetime, which is fucking wild. And so the reason why is like I think early Xbox tried to cater more to Japanese fans.
I think early Xbox was actually just like a very different catalog.
Yeah, that too.
Where it was like there was all the games that you could get on the Xbox.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot of crossover between Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And then there was less crossover with Xbox 360 and PS3
because the 360 was like, especially for the first half of that generation, was really kicking PS3 ass.
Yeah, and like PS3 definitely had better games by the end of it.
Yeah,
because Xbox blew their load super hard. Well, they had like Gears of War 1, Halo 3, Gears 2, Halo Reach, Gears 3. And Halo, they had Halo 3 ODST. All the Fable games, at least the first. So the second and the third, Fable 1 was on Xbox.
So the reason why I say it's about Japanese games is because the highest selling original Xbox game is a Japanese game. It's Dead or Alive 3, the fighting game, because I think that was an Xbox exclusive. And then the 360, the highest selling games were like the JRPGs like that were exclusive, The Last Remnant, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, right? Like, So because Xbox had exclusive Japanese games and Japanese style games, that's why they were like doing well at those eras.
Yeah.
Whereas in the modern day, it's like everything they have that's like Japanese is also on the PS4 or the Switch.
And also the PS4 has a better catalog.
Yeah, a better catalog and a higher install base. And like even still, we're like, okay, well, the fucking new thing is selling pretty well for Microsoft. 140,000 units sold. So comparatively, the PS5 in Japan has sold over 1 million units. Like, so to the 10 times more popular. And the Nintendo Switch has sold over 5 million units since launch. So like, why the fuck is Microsoft even selling consoles in Japan? Is this not a complete loss for them? Does it not cost them a ridiculous amount of money to translate their UI and like run offices there? Is it not a complete waste of time and effort? I don't know. But just kidding, because Microsoft's gaming side has always been like not profitable, and they basically just do it for fun. And
That's not true.
They do.
They don't do it for fun.
They do it for no, like there's not really a financial reason. They just kind of do it. I don't know.
Yeah, but they could just be doing that shit where they're always claiming they're taking a loss, but not really taking a loss.
Well, it is a part of the company that has never been profitable. Like, compared to like Windows is extremely profitable.
Yeah. Well, Windows has to be extremely profitable at this point. It's like $300. It's like $150 for like a piece of shit, and then now it's like Windows 11. Pay a monthly subscription, and it's like, no, thank you.
Like we talked about this before when we were talking about acquisitions in the gaming industry. Microsoft is such a massive company because it's not a gaming company; it's like a multi fucking faceted corporation. Microsoft, if they wanted to, could buy all the fucking console manufacturers. They could just buy Sony and Nintendo. Like, no problem, because they have fucking infinite money. They're Microsoft. They're giant.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Because
I know they are huge. I know they do make a lot of money. I don't think they could buy, like, Sony.
Sony makes the majority of its profit from gaming at this point. Like, their film and their appliances do not make as much money as their gaming sector.
Microsoft's revenue was $168 billion. Sony revenue. Well, it's giving it to me in yen, but it's 9 trillion.
9 trillion yen, so that would be about
probably like 90 billion or something.
It's times 100, so
81.38 billion.
81.38 billion.
So for Microsoft to buy Sony, they would have to use like half of their revenue.
Half of their yearly. Which is Microsoft is twice as profitable as Sony. They could buy Sony if they wanted to.
Well, that's revenue. That's not profit. So let's try again here. Sony profit.
Did you take that out of your mouth when you're talking to a microphone? Please?
No. How about you suck my dick?
You good today, buddy?
No. Whatever. I don't want to talk about that part, about that number shit. It takes too long.
Who cares? Google. So Microsoft could buy Sony if they wanted to. They could also buy Nintendo if they wanted to. They are a more profitable company than both because they are from a larger sector.
Mm-hmm. But they couldn't buy Sony.
They could if they wanted to.
But in the United States, there would be an issue. Antitrust laws.
Do you think that they would actually prevent it?
Yes.
When was the last time you read an article about a company trying to buy another company and it was prevented?
Can't remember.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen. There are laws.
It's because there's never things that are that extreme.
Yeah, there are laws. They just never get enforced. But yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Not really, but like, so yeah, there you go. That's why when we talk about Xbox in terms of like Japan and Japanese games, we go, it's irrelevant, and most of the time,
it's irrelevant. Yakuza and like, if Yakuza ever goes like Xbox exclusive, I'm not buying a fucking Xbox to play it.
I mean, it won't because their fan base is all on is majority on PlayStation.
Yeah.
At this point,
and they also don't own Sega. They just have a publishing deal with them.
Yeah, and they only, and it's not like they actually, the only exclusive they got from Yakuza is the next gen version for like
6
4
months.
or 5 months. Was it 6?
Something like that.
Yeah, and that's like partly because the actual next gen version wasn't really done, and in fact, the Xbox version got a huge update the day the PS5 version came out, because it was not actually like a great port.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's probably not going to happen with Sega. A lot of people are implying that Sega might be the game company that Sony's buying. A lot of people are also saying it could be Capcom. A lot of people are also saying it could be Konami. I want it to be Konami the most. But if it ends up being Capcom, I will kind of be sad, but I'll still be fine.
Yeah, it would be fine.
It would be fine. Yeah. Who out here playing Capcom games on their fucking Xbox?
What? Capcom games on Xbox?
Who's out here playing their fucking Capcom games on their Xbox?
Devil May Cry.
You play it on your Xbox?
No. Play it on PC.
Yeah.
And PS4.
Yeah. So Square Enix had a job posting that leaked 2 in development games, Tomb Raider Reloaded, and an Avatar: The Last Airbender game. Now, this wasn't a massively popular leak, but it was confirmed on account of it was a fucking official job posting from Square Enix. So the reason why I think that this is not big news is because it's almost certainly a mobile game. I'm just betting. Like,
it would make sense. Because
really, you're gonna fucking leak that shit like that? Like, not leak it, but like fuck up and post the thing you're working on. It's good. It's a mobile game. Gotta be. If it is something cool, that would be cool. I'd be happy to get a fucking good kind of blockbuster ass, like high quality fucking Last Airbender game. Even if it was like, get fucking, what's Tokyo RPG Factory up to? Not much. Just have them make a fucking...
What did they make?
They make like kind of generic turn-based RPGs that are kind of Chrono Trigger-esque. They're not good. Or they're not bad. They're just kind of meh. Just like make a kind of, classic top-down RPG Last Airbender game that's just good. I don't think anybody would be mad. You'd be like, yeah, it's a good game.
You mean like a turn-based thing?
Yeah.
I could see our Last Airbender being adapted into like a DMC-esque like action combat sort of thing.
I think that's a lot more expensive for a licensed game.
Yeah.
I think easy clap would be just have Square Enix do a like classic SNES style RPG or whatever PS1 style RPG.
Fuck.
Of Avatar that tells the entire story.
Yeah.
And I think that would sell pretty good.
You know who I also think should get them?
Yeah?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Well, because there's content in like Full Metal Alchemist that is like left off to the side, and I really feel like you could, it works really well as like a linear story like game. With like, and you could switch to across like to other characters and shit. You just have like some good old like beat 'em up style combat, like some Yakuza shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like when you play as Ed, you're like fast, but you can't take a lot of hits. When you're Al, you're fucking Saejima, where you do charge moves or whatever.
The thing I was saying for Yakuza like that would be cool, especially because they have done a Yakuza like as a anime adaptation with Fist of the North Star, is do fucking JoJo Part 4 as a Yakuza.
Yeah,
because
and when you start fighting
town sub-stories, right? A lot of those episodes could be considered like sub-story type content.
Yeah. And then you can elaborate on them more and shit. Like you could have an entire thing where like you discover Shigechi's like bullshit.
Yeah.
And up until he like dies, you could have like sub story you can do in the world where you have to like track down and defeat his like little guys or something.
Yeah.
Or like Red Hot Chili Peppers, shit like that. It's like, oh, you found a thing. Oh, like his like stand is causing problems or something.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool. I think you could fucking do it.
Or the invisible baby has escaped again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could do a fun like minigame part with when he drives the motorcycle and he has to like do that shit.
Yeah,
It's a fun bit.
The best part of that is when he like crashes it, and he's like flying through the air and the thing's like destroyed, and he's like, "This is fine," and there's just like a baby below him looking up like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, because he like destroys it and repairs it in the air, which is fucking awesome.
Someone made a fucking really good meme with Josuke.
Yeah.
Or with the guy who saves Josuke in the flashback that was like dropped and like as a story element. It was like Giga Chad Yankee from the past shows up bloodied and beaten, helps this lady get her car moving, doesn't elaborate.
Yeah. Like, it's so obvious, like, that's Killer Queen was going to send him back in time.
Yeah, Killer Queen was definitely going to have like a thing where Kira thinks that like him blowing someone up with like bites the dust was like, oh, they're gone from the timeline or whatever, or really they're dead, but actually they were just erased back into the past,
and that's how that worked. But then he was like, no, I'm struggling to figure out how to do this. We're just going to do it like this with the day repeating thing, which is cool. It's great. It's a great couple episodes that is like that's a great ending to that story. It's just funny that it left that plot thread sitting there like,
yeah. That man, the final fight against Kira is so fucking cool.
It's great
because
he gets murdered by a fucking ambulance.
It's just so like stupidly tactical.
Yeah,
where it's like
it's JoJo at its best.
Part 2 was just Jonathan lying or Joseph lying until he wins.
Yeah.
Part 3 was just full on slugfest.
Yeah.
Like we all have superpowers and we can fly for some reason now.
Yeah, which is also great.
Yeah, and then part 4 was just like he is throwing bubbles at me that explode.
Yeah.
Because he has a cat in his stomach. I am throwing things at him and like and using my ability to.
And the moment I figure out who he is, he kills me.
Yeah,
because
he couldn't the first time.
Yeah,
because the reason why he does like the reset doesn't happen anymore is because because the kid can't say he's Yoshikage Kira. Yeah, he can't tell them or else everyone dies.
Yeah.
But then as soon as Josuke finds out, because Kira yells it out loud, and he could have detonated the bomb manually to like reset the time, but Josuke attacked him fast enough that he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
But Rohan got to die a bunch of times.
Yeah. It was who died? It was Rohan, Jotaro, Koichi, never Josuke, and Okuyasu takes an L at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice watch. Too bad you won't be able to read it.
After I break the face, your face, that is.
Yeah. Too bad you won't be able to read it when I break it.
Yeah.
Your face, that is.
23-year-old marine biologist who's already abandoned his 2-year-old daughter that threatens the local businessman. Anyways. Oh, there we go.
Damn.
You know when the Part 6 anime is coming back?
No, there's going to be an event featuring it soon, so they'll probably announce when it comes back.
Maybe they'll also put out the JoJo's Battle Royale game finally.
No, that's a Japanese arcade game. It's already been out for ages.
Out?
Yeah.
Damn. Maybe they'll PC port it. And I won't play it because it looks stupid as shit.
It looks dumb, for sure.
Yeah.
But it also looks kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Watch it be like fucking Virtual On where you're like, you can only fucking play it with a stupid controller setup. Because Virtual On, it's 2 flight sticks type thing. Yeah, it's like 2, and you like move like that. Man, they need to do a new Steel Battalion.
Whenever someone comes up with like an alternate like scheme, like controller scheme for anything, I'm like, it's not as good as a controller.
They need to bring back Steel Battalion.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game for Xbox?
I'm aware of it. It had like the whole fucking like thing.
It had a giant fucking controller with 1,000,000 buttons and switches on it because you control the mech. Oh fuck. Super realistically with all these 1,000,000 buttons, which is just such a fucking cool idea for a video game.
Yeah.
Bring back like Fuck having to make specific controllers for everything. Like, fuck that era of, like, Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Like, those games are super fun, and part of it is the peripheral, but you wound up having a million of
God,
them.
if they fucking just work together for, like, 5 seconds, or, like, we're nice about it. Because there's no way they made that much money off the peripherals. They couldn't have easily have just said, like, oh, if you have a Rock Band controller... You can play it on Guitar Hero. I think you could use Guitar Hero. No, I think it was only one way.
No, you could do both ways.
I don't think...
For the most recent one, you could do neither way. The PS4 ones.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Guitar Hero was the Guitar Hero Live, which had 2 rows of 3 buttons.
Oh, yeah, because it was like it was a new controller type.
Yeah, whereas Rock Band was still classic style.
Yeah.
I liked Guitar Hero Live. It was fun that, like, all of the levels were first-person live action, and, like, that they hid cuts to, like, change based on how good you're doing. I thought that was fun. And I think I thought the new control style was also fun as well. But it's just, like, not the best game in the world.
Yeah.
But, like, Rock Band 4 obviously was more like, this is all the Rock Bands together, finally. This is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
But it's just I never played that one. I never got that because, Rock Band needs you to get all the peripherals, right? Like, if you don't have 2 fucking guitars, a microphone, and a drum set, you're, like, not playing the game right.
And if you bought, like, the whole thing, you would get just the guitar. You would get a guitar, a mic, and the drum kit. But not
you'd
a
have to
second
get
guitar.
a second guitar.
Yeah. Because I remember it was weird. For my family, just one time, they were in Buffalo or something. This was when, like, Rock Band was, like, brand new and kind of rare.
Yeah.
My sister and my mom, like, were in Buffalo for, like, shopping for some reason.
Yeah.
Because, back in the day, it used to just be kind of, like, cool for, like, when, like, obviously much, like, in the early 2000s. You could just drive across the border, and everything in the States was cheaper, but our dollars were, like, pretty much the same.
Yeah, there was, like, a point right there where it was really common to go across to Buffalo because, like, in the States, you get a lot more selection, and shit was, like, comparatively cheaper. Now the dollar is not in a space where that's true. Depends on the fucking product. It's not like you can't just go into Buffalo and, like, fucking...
I actually think, honestly, with a lot of the stuff still, it's, like, in the U.S.,
yeah,
like, their stuff has the same price tag as ours now.
Yeah.
Except for us, it's like a $3.99 becomes like $5. So it's fucked up. Yeah, but they just came back with Rock Band, like, the whole kit, and it was, like, supposed to be, like, a family thing that everyone could play, and it really sucked for me a bit because it was my Xbox. But so people kept, like, my sister would just be, like, bored. She'd bust in my room. She'd be like, let's play the same 3 songs we play all the time. And I'm like, you fucking bitch.
I love those rhythm games, but Rock Band had such a, like, big sound check. They just wanted to play the same 3 songs over and over again.
Yeah, because they would, like, and there was because they wanted to play, like, the fucking pop punk and, like, emo songs and shit, and that's it. It's like, guys, let's just go play, like, Man in the Box, which was not in Rock Band. I think that was in Guitar Hero too.
I don't remember.
And also, Rock Band also did have an initial issue, which is if you didn't buy it came with like 50 to 90 songs or something.
Yeah. But
when you went to go play the game,
yeah,
you had to replay through way too many songs in the story to unlock new songs.
You'd have to play sets of 5 songs, and then, like, some of them you'd get to pick from a couple different options.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I think sometimes some of those places did repeat songs, but I don't think it was that frequently.
It felt like I was playing, like, the same, like there at the beginning of the game, it felt like I was playing, like, 9 in the Afternoon by fucking Panic at the Disco, like, 1,000 times.
That's because when you got the select song, that was, like, the easiest song of the selection. So maybe it was, like, you picked that because you were like, I just want to fucking finish this set.
I want to get through these fucking sets so I can get new music to play.
Yeah.
That might have been it, but
9 in the afternoon. Your eyes are the size of the moon.
It's not even that good of a song.
It's a pretty good song.
It's alright. Yeah, but anyways, it would be cool to have rhythm games back.
Rhythm games are cool.
But
bring back Donkey Kongas.
Oh, yeah,
which is just Taiko no Tatsujin.
Yeah,
but
and that's like the only one we have now. It's the only rhythm game left.
Yeah. We get Taiko no Tatsujin, the Persona dancing games, which are basically a spin-off of the Miku dancing games, which do come out with some frequency. Yeah, it's basically it. I mean, we got a new Rock Band and Guitar Hero, I guess 6-7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Which, like, Rock Band 4, the entire point was that it's a platform for music gaming. So, like, they have done the good thing of, like, that game is a live service in the best way. They keep adding more songs, and if you want to add more songs, you can add them. Like they're still running that shit, which is cool. Like, you can buy more songs, or you can buy packs. And
then also, if you just go buy an instrument, you can, and, like, you know, get the proper drivers on your computer, you can go play Clone Hero.
Clone Hero's cool.
And have, like, independent fucking likely made tracks.
Yeah. But they usually only work on expert difficulty, so you have to be good at
it's one of those fucking games where it's like you have to be amazing at everything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I have. It's one of the problems I have when I'm looking for, like, new songs on Beat Saber.
Yeah.
It's like the guys who are making the tracks are like, this is expert plus, this is, like, the best. And it's like, do you play the fucking shit? I wish it was inside the game.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the making your own tracks is inside the game, but I wish it was like Mario Maker rules where it's like you cannot upload it. Well, since there's no place to actually upload it within the fucking game, it's like you're supposed to make the tracks for yourself. But, like, it shouldn't. I wish the Beat Saber, like,
had
uploader,
it where you have to finish it.
You have to finish it and get get a high enough rank or something on it to let it be like you have to fucking score a B or a higher.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
The way people got away with that in Mario Maker is they'd make secret exits.
Oh, there was tons.
Yeah, they'd make something really hard.
Yeah,
or like nigh impossible.
Yeah, or they'd try and be like little cheeky fucks and be like, "Ooh, look, it's just you in a cave of spikes," and it's actually if you just stand there for 30 seconds, a star will drop on you, and that's how you finish the level. But people would just keep throwing themselves and dying, and, like, never be patient enough. Like, a fucking Mario Maker designers are just dicks.
I get the idea of trying to do stuff like Kaizo Mario. Like, I know people love Kaizo Mario, and it's its own thing, and I think that's cool if you're into that. But also, I don't like that personally.
No, I think it's not fun.
If you're not save stating and you're playing Kaizo Mario, you probably have the fucking patience and will of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you haven't touched grass in quite a while.
Yeah, you haven't touched grass, but you're probably just, like, very easygoing.
Mm-hmm. That you're just like, yeah, bro, it's cool.
Yeah, I just have a lot of patience, you know? You just keep trying. I never get dissuaded. I'm like, you could be a CEO. You could be an
astrophysicist with this shit.
Yeah. You want to talk about the weeks?
Yeah, I do.
What did you do this week?
I played Elden Ring.
Oh, how is it?
It's great.
That's good.
It's still like an 8. It's not the best Souls game ever
So are you
made.
saying that FromSoft did send out reps to every game journalist to suck them
No,
all
I
off?
think game journalists are just are just way too hype on things. I think
sometimes they
do
get sucked into the hype machine.
I think there's the significant issues with Elden Ring. Like, I think the open world is more detrimental than it is helpful.
Yeah.
It does give you, like, here's the like the first boss you go to is actually, like, a very hard boss. Because the game isn't designed...
You're intended to skip him.
Not skip him. You're intended... Well, okay, I guess there is the Tree Sentinel. But I mean, like, the first story, the boss you have to beat to open up more of the map.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just to go north. You start... Like, you can do a quick run there, but you can also go down south and do a detour. Get a bunch of weapons. Get new armors. Get fucking... Well, actually, there's, like, no weapons and no armor, actually, at that point. It's like, learn how to use your weapon to perfection. Get a bunch of, like, upgrades. Make your Estus flask better, or your flask of tremendous might, or some fucking bullshit, whatever they call it. Yeah. But then it's just like, I feel like I'm wasting my time though. Where, like, Dark Souls, it's like, here's a straight line, everything's portioned out perfectly.
Doesn't Dark Souls do the same thing though? Like, it'll give you 2 paths near the beginning, and if you go down one, you're just up against much harder enemies. So that's how it, like, guides you to go down the second one.
No, it's like Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1 is incredibly linear until you beat Ornstein and Smough. Like, there's little parts where it's like you can divvy off and go do an optional boss, but not an optional boss in some ways.
Yeah.
It's like it gives you options. It's like it's either this boss next or this boss next. But it's like you have two options and they're both easily presented to you. Where Elden Ring is just like
you have a million options and it's hard to know what's even an option.
Yeah, the way they direct you in the game is that you go to the Sites of Grace, which is the new bonfires, and when you look at you'll see like one strong beam going in a direction, and if you look at the world map, it like has a little stylistic thing that just points in the next direction of the next Site of Grace you need to get to, which will eventually lead you to a boss.
Right.
Or like an important boss. So if you just if you follow that from the very beginning and you go straight to the first boss, you're gonna get your fucking ass kicked because you're gonna
get your shit blown up.
You have to hit him like 100 times to kill him. Where normal, I think my rule of thumb for Dark Souls boss is it's got to be 16. Like for you to be at level of killing the boss, you have to have, it's like 16 between 16 and 32 hits.
Right.
That's what you should feel like you're taking off a 16th. Or a 30 second of their health bar every time you hit them. And if you're not feeling that, you are not supposed to be at that boss. If they are hitting you and you're almost dying and you have to like consume half your Estus after one hit, you should not be there.
You're not fighting unless you're fighting the post-game turtle boss of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, unless you are fighting like an optional secret, like super powerful boss. Other than that, you should not be in that situation.
Did you beat that boss, Ian?
The turtle boss?
Yeah.
No, I fought him for like 45 fucking minutes, and I didn't get through like half his health.
Yeah, it's supposed to take, I think, 3 hours to beat it. Which I like commend them for putting that into a video game. It sucks, but it's like also it's
kind of funny.
It's bonus content and it's funny.
Yeah.
Like it's not fucking
you
can't even do it till you beat the game.
I just always felt like I was beating up like one of his feet and never his head or something.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was like you beat up on his feet for a while and then he like shoots his head out because maybe he does like a big attack to be like, hey, get the fuck away from my feet. And when his head pops out, you do big damage or something.
I fought him for about an hour and a half and then I died and then I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, I think I also died 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I wasn't low level. I was like level 80
level.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elden Ring, great. Actually, I was going to keep talking about it more. So there's like the weapon skill system has returned from Dark Souls 3, but it's actually good now.
Oh.
I think I brought this up when we first watched the Elden Ring trailer, like the gameplay trailer that changed my mind about it. Got me a little more hype. Not like everyone else in the world hype, but like I was like, yeah, I'll buy this game now. Weapon arts in Dark Souls 3 were just like fucking pointless. They did like no damage and they were just a drain on your mana for no reason. Now they are still a drain on your mana, except they do triple the damage of a normal heavy hit. So it's actually like good to throw them in there. Yeah. And then they've also changed you can now poise break enemies. Something similar to Sekiro.
Okay.
Where like there's no meter to tell you. But if you hit like an enemy with two heavy, like fully charged heavy attacks, so 2 charged R2s, the enemy will like get knocked on its ass, and then you will have a moment to walk up to the front of it and do a riposte and do like big damage, instead of having to be a parry god or if they're like a shield user, knocking their shield away. And also they made shields not just like have uses beyond parrying.
Okay.
Like you could always block with shields, but then it didn't really put you into an advantageous situation. Like after an enemy, like they would hit you and then they'd tink and it'd just be like, ooh, nothing. Now when they hit you, if you press R2, you'll do like a fancy fucking heavy hit that does like big damage, and it can knock them into that poise break stance. Like really fast.
So parrying has been buffed, and also blocking still exists.
No, but like parrying, it was like a move, was like you would press L2 when an attack was about to hit you in the previous Dark Souls games. You would bat their weapon away. Parrying hasn't changed. What did change is that while you are holding the shield, it's called like Power Guard or something.
Oh.
While you're holding the shield out, just doing a basic block, an enemy will like hit you, be like ting, and like they're like, ooh, the weapon's back or whatever. And if you press R2, if say you're using like the longsword, your character will go like bow and like whip them across the face with it, and that'll knock them on like their ass. And
can you disarm enemies?
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can you fucking? I think I think that'd be a cool thing to have in like a Dark Souls game, to disarm or even like remove the limbs of enemies. I think that'd be fun.
I think removing you used to be able to, it was actually a very important thing in Dark Souls 1, is enemies with tails, you could cut off their tails.
Oh, like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, but you would get like a weapon for doing it.
That's cool.
So like if you cut off the gaping dragon, if you cut off their tail, their tail was super long. And if you cut it off, it made one of their moves like not there anymore.
That's cool.
So it actually significantly weakened the enemy if you went for cutting the tail off, and you got this like giant dragon great axe that had like a unique. If you two-handed it and pressed R2, you would do this like big shockwave move with it, and that's like hasn't really come back in any of the games.
I think that sounds like a cool mechanic.
Yeah, it was very cool. There was like really good weapons you can get from doing it too.
Yeah, I don't know. Bring that back. I don't know. What game am I thinking of where you can fucking cut people's arms off and that changes their moveset?
Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Maybe. God, that game's good.
Yeah, I think it's like not every enemy, but like certain enemies or whatever.
I think that'd be cool. Like it means like it would make you feel. That would give you like a good if it's like a tactic where you're trying to target limbs, like that gives you more tactical elements to the game. But also B, like having that change things can make it feel like you are getting somewhere in a fight. Like it can give a fight more of a sense of narrative.
That mechanic did kind of also exist in Bloodborne, but only on very certain bosses.
Yeah, where
you could if you did enough damage to one of their limbs, you would get a huge like damage buff. There's something in Monster Hunter as well, where like if you do enough damage, the guy's like arm will like start bleeding more.
Yeah,
and then you would get like plus 10% damage every single time you hit that broken limb. But then if you went and did it, you could do it to the rest of their limbs. So you got to the point where you were just like every hit, you're like 40% extra damage.
Ooh,
it was a really cool hidden stat, and it is only available on like 3 of the monsters. Like it's only on like beasts.
Yeah.
So like the cleric beast, Vikram Amelia.
Yeah.
For a second I was like, did I just like, is that a real boss's name, or am I thinking of like Amelia Watson? The things, whenever there's a new Souls game, the topic of difficulty in video games is coming up.
Yeah.
And I think the one with Elden Ring is getting a bit too like, you guys, the people who are asking for it are becoming a bit too entitled. There is always the valid discussion of accessibility in video games for people for handicapped individuals.
Yeah.
Like they should
straight up, if you're putting a game out and you have a fucking publisher, if you are not an indie game, if you're putting a game out and you have a publisher, you have a fucking real budget, you should have fucking colorblind options. You should have button remaps. You should have the ability to use multiple controller types. Like that is fucking base level. I'm not saying everybody should have Forza Horizon 5 with fucking literal sign language interpretation for all the subtitles, or
The Last of Us part 2 with like how you can literally customize the entire way the game runs.
Yeah,
so that it's like enemies have you have like 200% health and enemies have 20% health.
Right. Like I get there's a distinction between AA and AAA games, like and in terms of budget sizes. Like I get that you can't shoot all your budget on accessibility features, even if you wanted to. Like I get that. But if you don't have fucking basic colorblind options and basic button remapping options and like flashing light removers, like get the fuck out of here. Like this is so easy.
That is proper accessibility that should be in every game.
That is bottom level.
Dark Souls and Elden Ring do not need difficulty sliders, because the way you can play those games is so incredibly open that
well, it's not even about Dark Souls. Like ultimately a game is a thing that that exists and like has a vision, has like something that is being done. And to make multiple difficulties, if you are going to make a difficulty setting that actually fucking matters and like is made, then you're basically doing almost like, if you want to make an easy, normal, hard, right, 3 options, right? That means you're doing 2 additional versions of the game, essentially, like, which is almost like doing like one SKU of the additional SKU of the game.
Yeah, and also point, those 3 additional versions of the game could just like
you need to completely rebalance the game, and
maybe
redo enemy placements, like. In a game like Devil May Cry, which is a game that is like meant to be played on multiple difficulties,
it's a
where
short,
the game is
8-hour game.
It's a
on
short
your first
game,
playthrough,
right? With short levels that are tightly done, that are like, yes, altering enemy placements is much easier to do because it's not like a fucking giant open world, and like also altering stats isn't that bad, right? Like Devil May Cry has some bullshit difficulties, but they exist, and like.
Yeah, no one's saying why is it in hell I die in one hit and I have to hit the other enemies.
I'm not saying like games shouldn't have difficulty options, but games should be built around having multiple difficulty options, or built around having one and also providing accessibility options and stuff like that. Like, I don't think Elden Ring or Dark Souls needs an easy mode, because that is not the vision FromSoft has for those games. Yeah. They're intentionally made to have this certain difficulty, and if you don't like it, then like there are other video games. You don't have to have these ones.
And there are ways to play the Elden Ring
that
specifically
make it easier.
There is a new system in the game called summons, not summoning other players.
Summoning the dogs and shit.
You can summon NPCs, and they significantly change how fights work. If you want to do a melee build,
look up builds that use magic, apparently you can really easily fucking
crap
out certain magic builds.
Yeah, you
can cheese the fuck out of some things in that game.
I saw a boss that someone fought where literally they walked into the room. There's this potion you can get in the game called a physic, and you put beads in it that determine like how it would work. You get the beads, they're key items, they're infinitely reusable.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to grind for them or anything, which is like good. But you can get one of the things you can add to the physic is that for a short period of time after consuming, you get infinite FP consumption, which is your mana.
Right.
So a guy walks into the fight.
You drink the thing and you fucking spit out 1,000,000 spells.
Not 1,000,000. One that he holds forever because it's like it's like a final flash. He walks into the room, just starts beaming, and it's such a wide range that it's one of those bosses that has like 2 support fighters.
Yeah.
And the range is so huge on the sides that whenever they went to go try and attack, it would just like keep lasering forward at the boss. And they would just be like getting knocked back just trying to touch him. There is ways to play Elden, and that spell you can get very early on.
Right. So again, like difficulty settings are good to have in games, but what I do want developers to do is A, focus on like their ideal, and B, make balanced difficulties if you are going to make difficulty settings. Like, I get that you have to fucking prioritize certain things over other things, and having multiple difficulties means that like each one is going to be less high quality than
there was
the others.
I didn't like normally I don't like talking about this thing because I think it's everyone knows that the people who say this are kind of stupid.
Yeah, like, and I get that it comes from a place of like, not necessarily being dumb or whatever, but like, yes, accessibility is good, but a video game, much like any other piece of media, does not owe you to be dumbed down. It owes you to be able to come at it at the same level as everybody else, right? So if you're colorblind, there should be colorblind options, because like, if you play older games that have like color-based status ailments, you're fucked if you're colorblind, right? So like, obviously, like, have colorblind options so that the colorblind players aren't at a disadvantage. But the games don't owe you like dumbing themselves down the same way movies don't necessarily owe you, or books don't necessarily owe you to be like, to fucking dumb themselves down and explain to you baby shit. Like, a thing can expect more of its a piece of art can expect more of its viewer or less of its viewer, and that doesn't mean that like everything needs to be overly complicated or overly hard to its player or its viewer, but that it means that we can have a fucking spectrum of things, and the things that are dipshit easy or have dipshit easy modes can exist and like not be bad, and same with the things that choose not to do that, because you got to respect the choices sometimes. So one of the dumbass things that this guy said though was he was just like, so you're telling me that that the first boss, the first main boss, Marigot,
that I can't beat him because I don't meet some minimum skill requirement. And it's like, yeah, it's a video game that's supposed
like
to
if you were
challenge
playing a fucking online game and the other players were better than you wouldn't have the same reaction. And
those are the type of people who fucking go and get like aim hacks and shit.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the same type of person, but like, you know, I think they're just having trouble like fucking rationalizing it or like doing the brain math.
Yeah, it was the same thing that happened when Monster Hunter came out.
I think this is one way that that digital games are flawed. Like,
you can't return it.
Yeah, because like if you're playing Elden Ring and you're like, man, fuck this, it's too hard, I'm not enjoying myself, I'm not having fun with the difficulty, it's just hard and not fun for me, right, as an individual who is entitled to having my own reaction to the video game, like, you could fucking take it back to the store, buy a different game, like, you should, and like, that's fine. And I think like, yeah, if you don't like it and you have put your money into it, like, obviously you're going to feel a little bit like pissed off if it doesn't work for you and you bought it full price at launch and it's digital and you can't return it because you bought it on your fucking PlayStation store. Like, I totally get that. Or if you bought it on Steam and like you passed the hour requirement but you're not like that long into the game still because it's a giant game with like 1 million hours of fucking content, like, yeah, I get being a little bit jilted at it because, like, fuck digital storefronts for not letting you do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I think digital storefronts, especially since they have a lot more access to your data about what you've done in the game, I think the devs should choose achievements or milestones that people can make in the game.
Right, because, like, at EB Games, or I guess it's GameStop now.
Because also,
if I buy a game at fucking GameStop and, like, within the first 2 weeks of release or purchase, I can return it.
Well, if you return it within like the first 48 hours or something, you get money back. Yeah. If you return it within the first week or two, you get game credit back, or you can exchange it for another game and like pay the taxes again or something. Yeah. But if you, and then anything beyond that is considered a trade-in.
Yeah. But you could still get like a good amount of your money back. Or at least your money back in at least trade-in value or whatever. Yeah.
But the what just really sucks.
Do you remember that story about the guy who used EB Games as a bag?
Yeah, it was so funny.
With pre-orders? That's honestly fucking great.
Yeah. That's what I think is just so unfortunate though. Yeah. Is well, like, if you walk away from, this is why I think the milestone thing should exist. If you play a game and you walk away for half an hour or something, your playtime still goes up. Yep. You could literally load in the game, play for like 30 minutes, and then like walk away because, I don't know, someone in
the return time on Steam should be based on the fucking how long to beat average. Right, where it's
it's like you get if it's
a game that's how long to beat is 50 hours and you drop it in the first 20, like, you can get a return.
I would say 10, but
10 or 20 or whatever, right? And then like if it's a how long to beat and the game's like 2 hours long, because like some people will do that shit where they return games like they fully beat a story game that's short.
Yeah, that's why,
especially because those games are mostly indie games, and I'm like, fuck that.
Steam's policy used to be 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, on whether or not that you could return a game, and then I'm not sure. I don't think this is the only reason why this happened, but a streamer and YouTuber, mostly streamer now, Ouija the God, beat Sonic Forces in 2 hours and 26 minutes on a first playthrough. Yeah, because that game's just not very long.
It's not very long.
And he returned it. And like Kotaku and like a bunch of other places like wrote hit pieces on him about how he like gamed the system on purpose, and he's like, no, I beat the game within the refund time. I didn't like it.
Okay, I would consider that BM at the very least,
to beat the game and return it. Yeah, but I don't know. Just because you get the whole experience of the game doesn't mean that you don't want your money back.
If you went to a movie. Yeah, and you watched the whole fucking movie. It's a 2-hour movie. Right, you bought your ticket, and you left the movie and you didn't like it, and you fucking argued with the clerk to try to get a refund. Not because there was some problem with your theater, not because there was some fucking like shithead, like, because you just didn't like the movie. You know what?
I would not do that.
You could probably get away with it. You'd be a fucking asshole.
I would not do that. You know what I would do, though?
What?
Is if I bought a ticket for a movie, expecting the movie to be 3 hours long, and then I somehow was able to watch the entire movie in 1 hour, and then the rest of it was 2 hours of credits or a black screen with no content, I would be like, I would walk out and be like...
That wasn't what happened with Sonic Forces. It didn't advertise itself as being...
I'm just saying, if you beat a game in 2 hours...
Yeah.
You can just like return, especially if it's a AAA game.
If it's a AAA
Indie
game.
games, no.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
AAA games.
I'm thinking of like a lot of the Annapurna games that are like short story games that are like two-ish.
Yeah, you can beat Sayonara Wild Hearts in 90 minutes.
Short fucking game, like 90 minutes. If people beat that game and immediately returned it and got all their money back, but they still experienced the entire game, that's fucking BM.
Okay,
that's bad manners.
Yes, that is. But Sonic Forces was a AAA game.
Yeah,
I think you can beat that one. If you beat a AAA
but that game also,
game,
to be fair, is not full price. It didn't even launch at full price. It launched at like $40 or $50. $50 here is not full price for a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's
I don't know. I don't think it's BM. He didn't do it intentionally. He just was like, "Whoa, can I do this?" And then he was able to do it. And then people wrote shit about him like he did it on purpose.
I think especially if you're a well-known streamer like that, still fuck you because like you're rich, eat shit. Like,
well-known and being rich, like not everyone's Hassan.
Most if the Gen Pub like knows of a streamer, they're probably rich. Like that one, I think he's pretty rich.
Well, I don't think he is, but I think like it's the people he associates with. Like he's like does streams with like AlphaRad and like Ludwig and shit.
Hold on, what was his name? Ouija the God.
Ouija the God, yeah. Are you gonna go check like his subscriber numbers or something?
Yeah.
Like Ludwig's fucking rich. Fuck that guy. Except he spends all of his money like a dumbass, so it's fine.
Fuck, he doesn't have his... I don't know. I don't see his subs. I see his followers.
Yeah?
Yeah. He got 51k followers on Twitch.
Yeah, well, a lot of places, not everyone shows their sub numbers.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, with your sub numbers, it's not on your profile ever. It's just up to the streamer whether or not they'll put it up there. Like, Hassan puts his up there.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to be transparent. People with like goals like would put it up.
341k YouTube subscribers.
But he hasn't uploaded to YouTube in like a year.
Yep.
Anyways,
yeah,
that's why it should be based off of milestones and not your
exactly
time. So if you put an achievement in for beating the first boss or something, and if you beat the first boss, then you can't return the game anymore.
Right. Or yeah,
unless it's a game with like 1,000, like if it's like Monster Hunter or something.
Yeah.
I would say put
milestone based or percentage of how long to beat. Hours.
I think milestone works really well for like bigger games, like,
or if it's a brand new game.
Yeah, like something like Monster Hunter World. Yeah. Where a lot of people's complaints was that Anjanath was like way too hard.
Yeah.
Then put it that like up until you beat Anjanath,
you
can return the game. Because it's like it's probably more than 5 hours in, like when you're first playing the game.
Yeah,
but it's still like,
and if you made that percentage wise
in the game,
and if you did that on every digital storefront, I think it would probably force, or not force, but like trend games to start being shorter again.
Yeah,
because then you could fucking beat like so much of like a Ubisoft game.
Mm-hmm. It would be harder to do. Well, not really. What if the Ubisoft a lot of like those games start with like an opening tutorial that doesn't allow you to like explore the map first, like Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah. You
go in and you do that like opening mission, and then you do that mission where you like have to go get like new clothes or something because you wake up naked.
Yeah.
Like that, I would say, is like the cutoff for that one. It's still early, but you get like you will understand.
You're
the
saying
vibe.
For your milestone based.
Yeah.
I'm saying for my how long to beat based.
Yeah, for how long to beat basic games would trend shorter.
Yeah, right. Like
That's why I think Milestone would definitely be a better way of doing it.
well, I think games trending shorter wouldn't be bad. Because games are all very long right
No,
now.
you're right, but it's like I don't want the extreme of games trending shorter.
No, but I don't think it would
If you
promote
give
the
me
extreme.
an 8 to 12 hour game, I'm happy. If you
Yeah.
give me a 16-hour game, I'm happy. 24, fine.
Yeah,
40,
I think
depend if it's.
I think 20 hours is an extremely like reasonable length for a game.
Yeah, I think 20 hours is probably like the perfect amount.
Yeah, it depends. Obviously, depends on the game.
Depends on the kind of game. Like
Chrono Trigger is 20 hours and it's great throughout, perfect. Obviously, like most Final Fantasies, trend towards like 40 hours, and those games all fucking slap. Most of them, at least. Most of the first 10 Final Fantasy games slap.
yeah, so like Assassin's Creed Valhalla didn't deserve that much of my time,
Right.
and I didn't need to put that much of my time into. So it was
Same with
my
like Dying
fault.
Light 2. Like I think that game's fun, but you know.
Yeah, Elden Ring I think is like taking up a lot more of my time than I'd like it to. Like if this was a normal Dark Souls game, I have put like 50 something hours into it now.
Damn.
I think most of my Dark Souls, like my longer Dark Souls playthroughs, like my Dark Souls 3 file that I used to complete the entire, like all the achievements on it for Steam, has like 32 hours on it.
Damn.
And that's on New Game Plus 3.
Oh.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that like Dark Souls used to be like a 20-hour game.
Yeah.
But then once you know what you're doing, you know how to beat bosses.
So yeah, like
fucking...
I think complaining about one of the things is like I think a lot of people are trying to L plus ratio people who are complaining or criticizing Elden Ring at all, which I think is dumb. And I think like
Elden Ring is very open to criticism.
yeah, like I think like talking shit on anybody who complains about the game's difficulty is fine sometimes. I don't know. Like I think it's a valid complaint at points for you to be like, I didn't like this. I bounced off of this. It's just like this whole series. Like, stop shitting on people for not liking the thing you like. It was originally very niche, for the exact same reason why a lot of people bounce off of it now, even though it's more popular, right? Like, I don't think that's an invalid criticism. Is like, or not even criticism, because like I think criticism implies something objective, but like.
Wait,
Yeah.
This is old fucking. I'm sure this is from old Doom shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from Doom Eternal. And Doom, like, at one point says, the new ice bomb will let you freeze demons in place in Doom Eternal. And some dude was like, will we have an option to turn that off that cannon and play classic like good old times? And Doom just replies, you control the buttons you press.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Like, again, so I think there is, like, validity to people's subjective opinion that, like, Dark Souls too hard I don't enjoy. Obviously, I'm one of those people. And not just too hard. I think there's, like, certain things about Dark Souls do not give me the good chemicals. And so, like, they give other people the good chemicals. So, like, you know, more power to you if you enjoy it. And that's one of the reasons why you'll hear me complain about, like, the Dark Soulsification of other video games that I'm interested in, because I'm like, as somebody who likes action games but who Dark Souls just doesn't appeal to, like, you know, it can be annoying. Specifically, like, Assassin's Creed is the obvious one, but same with you know, God of War and some other games that started taking influence. Jedi Fallen Order, like, I did get through all of and enjoy, but like, definitely there were parts of it that I was groaning at, you know. Man, I saw a tweet that was filled with cursed knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will stop watching in a second. This man just made a beautiful piece of sushi.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so the cursed knowledge is, it was like the Scarlett Johansson's most iconic role is voicing Mindy in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie video game.
Absolutely.
So I didn't realize that she voiced Mindy in SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
You didn't know
Scarlett
that?
Johansson. No.
Oh. Did you know Alec Baldwin's the guy?
I don't remember
The
the
villain?
guy.
The dude who's chasing them down with, like, the spiked boots and shit?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. See, it's one of those weird things. Did
SpongeBob's-
you know that's David Hasselhoff?
I knew that was David Hasselhoff. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie back in 2004 was a fucking cultural moment.
Yeah, so ScarJo as Mindy, and created everyone's like, oh god, nerd girls are where it's at.
I think that's so funny because she is like the least nerd.
Yeah, she's so hot.
Yeah.
And then Her dad was Jeffrey Tambor.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. Don't ask me why.
The dude that Plankton hires to chase them down is voiced by Alec Baldwin.
Damn.
Alec Baldwin also voiced older Timmy Turner in Timmy Turner Cyber Chase or whatever the fuck. Alec Baldwin, I guess that was like in his peak alcoholism when he was just like, I just need work. Yeah. Did like 2 separate things for Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
One of them was good.
I think he did lots of voice acting.
He's got a very good voice.
He does have a pretty good voice.
Yeah.
Lemon.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back and watch 30 Rock, but like,
30 Rock's
I remember 30 Rock better than 30 Rock is.
Yeah.
There was like legitimate episodes of 30 Rock that I think are horribly unfunny, but then there's like amazing moments like when Tracy's having a breakdown or whatever, and Jack Donahue walks in, he's like, "It's me, Tracy, it's me, Harriet Tubman." He's dressed
That's
like
great.
Harriet Tubman.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think
or my favorite.
Yeah.
Hey, you stop talking to me like that, or I'll show you the back of my hand. He shows the back of his hand and says, "Please be nice to me."
That's funny. No, I think like 30 Rock aged better than The Office and Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is so Obama's America.
Parks and Rec is so like slightly left of center with like everything they say. But then it's also like has Ron Swanson being the shittiest libertarian you've ever met.
It's exactly Obama's America.
Yeah.
Lib, like centrist lib.
Everything is such a parody of itself because America was truly fine at that point.
But it's not even just that. It's just like it's this like fairly like early feminist, or not early feminist, obviously feminism
like
existed
fourth
for 100
wave
years,
feminism,
but
shit.
like modern like pop feminism, but like with nothing like completely shallow about it, right? It's like this, you know, she has a fucking crush on Joe Biden, and Joe Biden shows up in an episode, like,
yeah,
like,
but that was also when we didn't know anything about Joe Biden.
No, but that,
really.
What I'm saying is like that's the era. That's like what the era was, and like it's aged like fucking milk because
Dick Cheney's in like an episode for like a one-off joke, but like even though she's not a Republican, she is a fan of Dick Cheney. I think it's not Dick Cheney, John McCain.
John McCain, yeah.
Which I think it is a pretty funny joke. Again, she's like crying in the coat closet, and he's like trying to like help her out. She's like, "Can you please just leave me alone, okay, guy?"
Like, and I will stand by John McCain, most ethical Republican.
Yeah.
Right. Not a fucking big competition to win.
It's like because that's why he's the most ethical.
Yeah.
It's just like he's like he's like over there being like, hey, maybe we should consider our actions before we do them, but then also being like, but war is pretty bloggers.
Like
I say racist things about Asians.
I think John McCain and Joe Biden are maybe the same person.
Yeah.
Dude, like, I think like not that, because like Joe Biden is like most Republican Democrat. John McCain is most Democrat.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
Or I guess
Joe Manchin or like
Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema.
Yeah, they're both Democrats or some fucking how. Yeah. John Kasich, I think, was a pretty.
Isn't it fucking tragic
Republican.
that Christian Sinema, the first bisexual member of whatever you call it, just Congress?
Congress. She girl bossed her way into that role.
Like fully, like you're like, hell yeah, first bi chick. Hell yeah.
She's relatively young.
Queen.
She's like she was kind of fun. She's like
kind of
really has some sort of like quirky shit about her. But then what she uses that for is to go, no, we won't give the American people more money.
No minimum wage increase. And I'm 100% certain it's because she's been fucking completely paid off. Like,
absolutely.
Is what it is, because when she started getting into politics, she was a lot more progressive.
I think she's just actually an idiot.
She doesn't have integrity about it.
Yeah.
She's more interested in getting paid off than she was at keeping her integrity, which is fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Just like every bisexual woman. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah.
No integrity. They'll all cheat on you because they're bisexual and female.
Yeah. They'll go to someone who can actually eat pussy.
I am kidding.
Just like the fellas.
I'm kidding. I love bisexual women, and many of my friends are bisexual women, and that is the joke.
Yeah.
I always feel the need to explain myself when I make jokes like that sometimes, because I'm like, you're a stranger potentially listening to this.
You know what's something I've kind of been like laughing about?
Yeah.
Did you ever get COVID?
I don't think so.
Your mom didn't either?
Me and my mom got sick for a little bit, but it was unclear whether or not we had COVID.
Okay.
We didn't she took a couple rapid tests and got one positive, one negative, and I never got tested.
So yeah, I did have COVID.
Yeah.
That's why I'm too strong. Mm-hmm. I'm invincible now.
I got 3 shots and I maybe got COVID.
I got 3 shots and had COVID, so
yeah.
I'm based and red pilled.
Nice. Way to go, bud.
But speaking of being red pilled,
yeah,
that's the one where you're just using an excuse to be a prick, right?
So being red pilled is
blue pilled is like you fall for like the shit the government says. Red pilled is like you're a conspiracy theorist.
So it's basically an overall alt-right term, but it's kind of older now at this point. Like it's 7 or 8 years old now.
Yeah, that's why it's funny to say based in red pilled.
Yeah.
So I was listening to an episode of a podcast, and one of the guys on it, they brought up long COVID. And the guys were like, what the fuck is long COVID? And he's like, oh, it's some big thing women say they have to act like they're still, like, sick. But then I just started thinking about it, and I'm like, I've never heard of a dude say he has long COVID.
I've never heard anyone say they have long COVID.
My mom believes she has long COVID. She tries to argue that I do too, and I'm like, no, I'm perfectly fine.
What is long COVID?
Long COVID is
when you have it and you have symptoms.
It's that you have it, and then like you're never the same afterwards or whatever. That like, but it's not like long COVID shit where like the things where like people lose their sense of taste and stuff, and it's taking forever to come back. It's like, oh, I got COVID and I was so tired and drowsy all the time. Or I had a light cough and they're like, and now I'm so tired and drowsy and I don't have COVID anymore. And it's like,
you have depression, bitch.
It's because you either have depression or you ain't sleeping enough.
Or a third option, yes, sometimes after being sick, something like a cough or whatever can retain.
Oh, yeah.
For like over a month. That's not necessarily like a different diagnosis. It's just
I do not cough. Yeah. Personally, unless something is caught in my throat.
Yeah.
Like, but there's people who just like, ooh, I got to cough. Like, even non-smokers just be like, oop, coughing time.
Yeah.
I don't cough. I don't get that feeling in my throat.
That'll happen to me sometimes.
Yeah, see? Exactly. I don't cough, though. I hadn't coughed for like 10 years.
Yeah, if my throat's dry or whatever, or like sometimes I'll just like, I don't know, swallow my spit a weird way.
Yeah. Just doesn't really happen to me. So, but then when I got COVID, that's when I was like, oh, I am sick.
Because you're coughing a lot.
Because I'm coughing a lot. And then I was coughing for like 3-4 weeks afterwards. I wouldn't call that long COVID. That's me being super used to coughing.
Yeah, or
for
your cough persisted.
Straight.
Like not you were no longer feeling most of your symptoms, and you were no longer what's the word contagious. Yeah. But yeah, you retained a cough for some period of time after you were no longer really sick. That's normal. That's like fine.
Yeah, but it's like being tired is like a depression thing, or also the sun is not out right now. It's
seasonal.
Winter.
You might be on that seasonal depression.
But also, it's just like the whole. You might not be getting enough vitamin D. There's just various things that isn't even like that can happen to you, even if you don't get seasonal depression, or you don't have no depression at all. If you're very neurotypical.
Fucking neurotypical.
Yeah. So it's like, but then it's just but then I was like. I made a joke. I said it straight to my mom.
Yeah.
Because she said long COVID. I'm like, that's a women's disease. But then I was listening to The Yard, Ludwig's podcast.
Yeah.
And all the guys on The Yard got COVID like a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Because they all live in the same house.
Yeah.
Or they work in the same house. I don't know, actually. I think they all live in like, a fucking Hassan mansion. Mm-hmm. But then Ludwig's girlfriend, Cutie Cinderella.
Didn't get it?
No, she got it, but then she, of course, is claiming that she has long COVID. So once again, it's one of those things where I heard it, and I'm like, oh, it's from a mildly misogynistic man.
Yeah.
That's definitely not true. But then I keep getting examples of, like, only women saying they have long COVID.
That's because women are more likely to say that something is happening to them, and men try to deny it more.
That's probably true as well. It's like the Garfield thing.
Yeah.
Where you don't think about how often you see Garfield until someone tells you you think you don't see Garfield.
But also, yeah, probably women are more likely to complain about long COVID. Probably men and women are equally likely to have continuing symptoms or whatever in the weeks and months following getting sick. But women are more likely to mention it because, men frequently will avoid even seeking any sort of medical attention when they're sick.
Men just put up with more shit.
Yeah.
Well, I say that, but then I'll get a woman scream.
Health-wise.
Yeah, a woman will scream at me immediately and be like, you don't know about a period. And I'm like, I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. Medically, men put up with more shit, and I think it's because women, because they have periods, interact with the medical.
They know when their body
medicine more.
They know when their body's all fucked up more often.
They're less into denying it than men are. I
Yeah.
want to say, on average, this does not mean every woman and every man. We are making broad statements.
Yeah, like the broad statement that long COVID is a women's disease.
Broad statement.
Broad statements.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, that's the misogyny for this week.
Nice. That's the new segment.
Yeah.
Ian being misogynistic and Nathan having to fucking follow up and be like,
anyways, only women get COVID. If you had COVID, congratulations on transitioning.
It's great.
Yeah, so what'd you do this week?
Oh, here's another one for toxic men. They're putting estrogen in regular milk, so but they don't put it in the vegan alternative. So drink soy milk and oat milk and shit. Otherwise, fucking regular milk might make you a fucking low T, dude.
Doesn't soy milk actually cause titties in some men or something?
No, it doesn't. That's a fucking
That was
myth.
a thing?
Well, it's not a myth. It's like a study was like, oh, soy because it has these things. But like, do you know what else has a lot of the shit that's in
Probably
soy?
a ton of other shit.
Most shit that nobody fucking even thinks of. Like certain things that nobody thinks will make you less masculine, which is why it's just like, oh, people have attached to soy probably because it's like more associated with like Eastern culture and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I played a couple games this week. I'm going to talk about Vampire Survivors first. Have you played any of Vampire Survivors, Ian?
Not familiar.
So Vampire Survivors is a new game that has hit Steam and is like $3. And
Yeah.
it's like a roguelike where you are the bullet hell. No, but it's like very Castlevania themed. So you kill monsters that like will chase after you. You're in an area and they drop little EXP crystals. And you collect enough of the EXP crystals, you gain a level. When you gain a level, you get a new item or an upgrade to an item. You can hold six like weapons and 6 kind of more passive buffs at once. So you really want to prioritize upgrading more because essentially like you want to survive in each level for up to 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, a Grim Reaper will come out and can basically just one-shot you. You can beat it if you play really strategically. I don't want to because I looked it up and I'm like, oh no, that's fucking too hard and I won't enjoy that. There's like 4 levels and you can turn on the hyper mode for each level. The game tells you stage complete when you reach the 30-minute mark and die to the Reaper, so it's not like the game's like, you still lost.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's really fun. It's really addictive. You get money and you can like do permanent power-ups, spend it on that and spend it on like different characters. Different characters will have different starting stats and different starting weapons. I think there's like I think there's maybe 15 characters that you can play as.
Yeah.
It's just a really fun game. I really like it.
And it's a roguelike.
It's a roguelike, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more of a roguelite because you can like, you can like make permanent buffs. You can like spend money on like permanent buffs, which makes it not technically a roguelike, but a roguelite. But yeah, it's a fun game. You should check it out. It's like $3.
No.
Okay, you don't have to.
Thank you.
But it's fun.
I'm just busy with Elden Ring, and then once Elden Ring's done with, I'm going back to Horizon.
Oh, you didn't beat Horizon?
No, I was like 40% of the way through, and I had like 50 hours in that one as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Game's too long, man.
Yeah, I think if I
nowadays.
beelined like the main story, I could do more. It's just it's just Horizon writes side quests really well.
Yeah.
Like they fully voice act them. You like can't. They do the dumbest shit, Nathan.
Yeah.
So in main story quests,
Yeah.
you can kind of like in like Cyberpunk or Mass Effect.
You skip one line at a time.
You can skip one line at a time. So if you're like me, who is very impatient, and while I do appreciate voice acting,
Sometimes you just want to.
I am reading faster. Oh, same with Yakuza. You can do it with Yakuza as well.
Yeah.
I am reading faster than the subtitles are, like, or than they are reading the line, and I'm like, okay, I'm still getting the basis of the quest. Yeah. It's not like a main plot line. So when you're doing the main story missions in Horizon Forbidden West,
you can skip them one line at a time.
You can skip them one line at a time.
Side missions will skip the entire.
You have to skip the entire interaction. It should be the other way around. Honestly, it should either be both the same for both, one line at a time for both, or neither.
Yeah.
It's just, I get it. It's that, like, when you're doing like a New Game Plus run or something, or when you're playing the game again for the next time, you could skip the side quest dialogue that you don't care about, and you can go through but still see like all the stuff happening for the other shit.
Yeah,
but it's so it makes every fucking quest like side quest feel longer than a main story quest.
Yeah.
So what's the other game you played?
Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, did you beat it?
I did not beat it, but it's fucking fantastic. Like, dude, Final Fantasy VI is such a fucking great video game. Like, the mechanics are super solid. The storytelling is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the storytelling is great. The characters are wonderful. Their interactions are great. Music, fantastic. It's a fucking Final Fantasy game. Who thought? Right? You know, just like everything's great. The visuals are awesome. Like, good game. It's a good game. Yeah. I got to the fucking opera. So since the last time last week when I mentioned it, where it was like I'm only an hour in, and here are all the cool things that have happened. Since then, I fought the fucking Phantom Train with my suplexy boy, and I suplexed the train. Of course I did, because it's actually legitimately probably one of the best things you can use on it. Because when you get your monk, he has like 3 moves, and that's probably the most damaging move to a single enemy, which is good for boss battles if they can be suplexed, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I got to that point. Before I got to that point, I met some dudes. One of the dudes has a great story background, and like his fucking, like, they straight up did some dark shit. Like, they had some dark shit happen on camera. Well, surprising, because this was a SNES game.
Yeah.
His wife and child were poisoned to death.
Ooh.
Like, it happened. You see them die on screen. I'm like, oh shit. Like, yeah, this is on the Super Nintendo. This is like really well written stuff. You got like there's this part where you have, you know, essentially, like, you get to a point in the game where certain characters will split up at one point. So it has, you know, Locke is going back to another town to, like, that's been taken over by the Empire.
Yeah.
To, like, you know, try to get some documents, get some people, get some warnings out, right? You have the main group has taken a raft to get away from that town. And then, like, one of the members, after a boss fight, falls off the raft. So then the game is like, who do you want to see? And you could play all 3 of their perspectives to get to the meetup point. And, like, that's super cool to be able to play them in any order. And again, they're all good. One of those is, as I said, like, deals with the guy fighting the Phantom Train. The other one has Locke in the city meets a person who is defecting from the Empire, who is like an interesting character. And then the 3 together kind of just have to make their way down. And like, again, later on, you get to the fucking opera scene, and it's a famous scene, and it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's fantastic, it's amazing. And there's some really entertaining stuff, there's some really fun stuff. I've, like, kind of just past that point now. I just got to meet Sid at the Magitech facility. It's just a really fucking fantastic game. Like, the Pixel Remaster is a great way to play it. Finally, we have a definitive version of 6, which is good, because unlike some of the other ones, 6 kind of never got a great version. There's, at least for North America, because you can play the version of it that's called Final Fantasy 3 on the SNES, which, like, lacks some things, and obviously, like, is a SNES game with no QOL improvements.
Yeah.
Right? Or you could play the GBA game, which has some QOL improvements, some improvements to the localization, but is a fucking GBA game, so it uses the worst sound chip. You can play the PS1 game, which has similar improvements to the GBA version, but has long loading screens.
Yeah.
Because it's a PS1 game. But finally, the Pixel Remaster gives us a version with all arrangements of the music, which is fantastic. The improved opera scene, which added lyrics to the fucking music, and also like that scene is displayed in the HD 2D style of like Octopath Traveler, which is super cool. Like it's Final Fantasy VI. Obviously, like, you know, I shouldn't have to tell you that Final Fantasy VI is like one of the best games of the series, let alone like all time.
Yeah.
Just like quality shit. When it came out, it was probably the best game ever fucking made. Like, with the only real competition being like Chrono Trigger, which is like by the same fucking company.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
what year did it come out?
Like 93, 94.
You're lucky.
Why?
Ocarina of Time wasn't out yet.
Also, I think personally, it's better than Ocarina of Time because Ocarina of Time is not that good.
Your personal opinions aren't facts. Facts don't care about your feelings.
And facts are that Ocarina of Time is actually the best game. I don't think Ocarina of Time is better than Final Fantasy VII.
I don't think Ocarina of Time is better than other Zelda games.
Yeah. Let me see. 1994 it came out. So, you know, that's how it be. Sometimes, my guy. When did Chrono Trigger come out? 1995. It came out before Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
So when it came out, it was the best fucking video game ever made. Like, fully.
Okay, fine.
Somebody's gonna be like, actually fucking Super Mario World. And like, Super Mario World's good. Link to the Past is good. There's other good games. FF6, fucking incredible. It's like so fucking cool. It just, every minute of it not every minute. Every hour of that game is gonna have a thing where you're like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what if I don't? What if I don't say yo?
Then you're fucking cold and heartless and the world has beaten you down.
You're goddamn right I am.
But FF6 has shit that's going to, like, you know, like a good Final Fantasy game, is going to, you know, make you feel a way, is going to, like, hit your emotions. There are parts that'll make you laugh. There's parts that'll make you go, yo. There's parts that'll make you fucking feel sad. Like any good game in the series. And this is one of the best.
Okay.
Again, 6 and 9 are the best Final Fantasies, as far as I'm concerned. But, like, obviously a lot of them are good. If you're like, Nathan, I don't want to spend $90 on the entire fucking Pixel Remaster, all of the games, just give me 2 recommendations of those of the first 6. I'm going to say play 4 and 6 because they're the 2 best story games. And they both slap. And you're going to
suplex a train in one of them.
You can suplex a train in 6, and in 4, you can, I don't know, do other cool shit that isn't suplex a train. You can have a fucking... the entire game is about having an epiphany.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get to see characters change jobs. Even though the game doesn't have a job system, you see characters change jobs over the course of the story as part of fucking character development. Which is cool.
That's good.
As a reference to the job system from 3, which is great.
Yeah, that's good.
Because you go from... The main character goes from being like a Dark Knight into a... what is the class called? Like a Holy Knight. Like a, you know...
The good in one.
He becomes good.
The White Knight.
No, not a White Knight.
He goes into people's Twitter mentions and goes like, "Oh, actually, Queen, you're perfect in every way.
You are beautiful, no matter what you say." But yeah, man, fucking Final Fantasy VI is good and you should buy it. It's the best RPG that came out the week it came out.
Yeah. This truly is one of the games of all time.
Yeah. No, what I mean is like, it's better than Elden Ring.
It was a fucking really good
and
one.
It's a fucking fraction of the price. It's better than Elden Ring. From my perspective as a guy who does not enjoy Dark Souls games but loves Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Totally not from a place of bias or anything.
Yeah, but also like I think a person who likes both could probably make a good argument if they've played both fucking really well a lot
Yeah.
They could probably make a really good argument. I'm not that guy. But also, before we go, I do want to address, we did get a new comment on the channel 3 days ago, Ian.
What does it say? Get the
But
dogs back out.
for some fucking reason, the comment was left on an episode, like 60 episodes old. On episode 52, somebody was like, timestamps should be great on these guys if you find the time. First of all, I don't have the time, and also, fuck you. I have a job. Secondly, why are you going to my fucking channel, scrolling back over a year ago and watching videos, my guy?
I don't know. Maybe
And
he really
not
likes
watching the new ones.
Maybe he really likes it.
I don't know. Do what you want, obviously.
Or maybe that was just the one episode that popped up or something.
Maybe it did.
Yeah.
Eat my shit, you fucking asshole.
Stop it. Don't be mean.
Just kidding. Love you. I'm not going to put timestamps on these because it's hard and I don't care.
And also, this is not a full-time job.
Yeah. I have a real job.
Yeah.
I'm not just a podcaster. Do you ever sometimes feel bad when they're like, don't give men a microphone? And I'm like, I literally have a podcast, but we're not shitty. We're not like, you ever meet a woman who has a fucking hobby?
Oh, God, that one. Oh, my shit.
It's so stupid. Just
Did
admit
Destiny
you've
send that
never...
one to you as well?
Of course.
Yeah.
Admit you've never met a woman, my guy.
Also, well, I can understand where they're coming from in the way of they've only met boring women. Also, it's just
when you meet a woman, you don't actually get to know her or her interests.
Also, what hobbies do men have?
Men have a fucking...
I watch Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and play video games. No, you play Call of Duty. Shut the fuck up.
Or like, you know...
You get mad at children who are better than you at a video game. I don't care.
Or like, maybe you're not a male gamer, but you are just a fucking annoying piece of shit, and when you talk to women, you don't actually engage with their interests.
Also, if gaming...
Which might be things that you invalidate, but are still hobbies.
If gaming...
If gaming's a hobby, anything's a fucking hobby.
If gaming's a hobby... I was going to say, if gaming's not a hobby, and watching TV isn't like a hobby or anything...
Then most men have nothing.
But also I would say
me.
by that regard, reading a book is not a hobby.
Also factual. If all of those things are not hobbies, then like most people don't have
hobbies are things that I get in this argument with my mom because she said I have no hobbies, and I'm like, I literally have more hobbies than you do. And it's like playing video games, hobby.
Sure.
Watching TV, hobby. Anything you do in your spare time that you enjoy doing is a hobby.
I think you have to put effort into something to make it a hobby.
Gaming, then TV is not.
Yeah.
Movies, I would say, are kind of because you usually...
It depends on how interested you are, or like for me, like I buy a lot of Blu-rays and I get interested in like old classic movies or like foreign films and shit like that.
You watch
like,
the movies, you have like a critical thought about it instead of just being
so
like,
I think
whoa,
for me,
Spider-Man!
I think for me, yeah, like that's a hobby because like I invest time and effort into it. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people passively enjoy it, which isn't to like shit on you. Like you're allowed to passively enjoy it. Like you don't have to get super deep into everything you're interested in. That's for people like me and the other neurodivergents out here.
Yeah, I get super invested in everything I play. I know the entire like lore for most video games I play.
Yeah. And for
that's
me,
like, and
for
I mean,
me,
and
for a lot of games, I forget the fuck out of them.
And not just the shit that they present you, like the extra shit.
Yeah.
But then I have a hard time with Dark Souls lore because Dark Souls lore is just like it's like I'll start talking about one storyline for a character and go like, wait, is that in Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3?
Or like
because they reuse a lot of the same story.
Also, like Dark Souls kind of intentionally hides its lore from you.
Yeah, you have to find it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maidenless.
No maidens?
No bitches?
Yeah. Dude, that chick, I see so many people, and like, to be fair, if I was playing the game, I would also like it. Liking that chick who just hugs you. It's very nice.
Yeah, but she actually debuffs you.
But she tells you that, and she gives you a thing that fixes it.
I don't think she actually does the opposite. She doesn't tell you. It's that when you're holding on to it, you get a debuff next to your name, and you have to use it and rest at a site of grace. She just tells you that using this will like increase your poise at the cost of FP, but it doesn't. She doesn't mention that it lowers your health, and then the item description also doesn't say it. Yeah,
but isn't it
I wish
worth
she
it?
could hold me without debuffing me.
But isn't it worth it?
Yeah. She's actually... I think she's a villain.
Isn't love worth sacrifice? A little bit.
Yeah, that's why I'm sacrificing everything for the witch Ronnie. And
is she really a villain? If they revealed her to be evil,
who, Fia?
Yeah.
There's a thing with her where she gives you spoilers for Elden Ring, but it's a side quest. It's not the main story. She gives you a tarnished dagger or something, and you have to give it to D, Hunter of the Dead, who is a man who sets you on the path to clearing out Deathweed.
Do you think he's supposed to be like Vampire Hunter D? Do you think that's
also that could be true, but he's also supposed to be reminiscent of Lautrec from Dark Souls 1.
Oh.
But that's why it turns out he's a good guy and not a villain like Lautrec is.
Do these games take place in the same world?
Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 allegedly all take place in the same world that has gone through all the games take place like thousands of years apart.
Especially 1 and 3 take place in the same fucking location, but 2 is in the same world technically.
It's in like a different time version of the world. Dark Souls, Elden Ring. The only thing Elden Ring shares in terms of characters is patches. But patches is also in Bloodborne and in Demon Souls.
But it's not the same patches in every game.
It's a different patches, yeah. Well, except there was a weird one where the patches in Dark Souls 3, even if you kill him, if you go into the Ringed City DLC, spoilers for the Ringed City, there's an NPC you make there named the Indomitable Lap or something. Yeah. And he has the same voice actor as Patches. And you go through the whole thing, but he doesn't remember his memory, and he's very helpful and nice to you, and doesn't betray you. Except at one point, if you finish his quest line, where you help him get his memory back, he kicks you over an edge, like Patches always used to do. Patches' thing was that you would be like, why don't you peer over the edge there? It looks like there's a bunch of loot down there. I would be willing to share it with you if you help me get down there. And then he just fucking boots you in the ass. And kicks you down there and calls you like a piece of shit. And then when you get back up, he begs for his life. But Lap, when he kicks you down, it's to put you onto a hidden path that sets you in the right direction. Oh. So but then he takes his helmet off and it's Patches underneath. And it's like, oh my god. Yeah. So.
And there's a Patches in this one?
Yeah, he's a boss you fight like immediately. Oh. Well, you could fight him in the first zone, but then by the time when you almost beat him, when you're at like a third of his health left, he gets on his knees and begs for his life again, just says he was joking or whatever. And then he becomes a merchant that you can meet in at an island, and then you can find him in the Volcano Manor later on. But that's it. He doesn't have a full storyline like how he does in Dark Souls 3.
And he doesn't even kick you in this one?
Well, that's his move. Is he kicks you? He has a strong kick called the horse hoof kick. It's his thing. That he has in when you kill him in Dark Souls 1, he drops, I believe, his shield. Yeah. Because it's a tower shield and it's pretty unique, and he drops a ring called the horse hoof ring that enhances your kicks. So kicking in Dark Souls 1 is supposed to put someone in a parry state. Oh, it breaks their poise provided they're blocking. Yeah. But if you did it, you have Patches ring on. You can't kick people with big shields. Mm-hmm. But with Patches ring, you can. It's not a very useful ring. It's very situational. Yeah, you would never use it over the only 2 good rings in that game, which is the Ring of Favor and Protection and Havel's ring. Yeah. Cool. So anyways, that's some Dark Souls stuff.
That's Dark Souls, that's Elden Ring, that's fucking Final Fantasy. All right, thanks so much for listening and or watching. If you want to see the video version, we are at youtube.com/N8SComedy. If you are interested in following me personally, I'm at The Media Hole on everything. Not everything, actually. Why did I say that? If you want to follow me personally, I'm at The Media Hole on Twitter. I'm at twitch.tv/TheMediaHole. I'm at TikTok at The Media Hole, and www.whenyourballs.get stuck to your leg.tumblr.com, although I don't really use my Tumblr. Mm-hmm. If you want to follow Ian, he's at StrugglesV on everything. He recently came under fire for saying some kind of nonsense. I don't know. Fuck it. I don't have one.
I already said some kind of nonsense actually on the podcast. So
yeah. So bye.
Bye.